What's going on, everybody? This is Dre from Growth Networking Group. I got my team here with me.
Got David from 808 Custom Window Cleaning.
Brandon from United Construction Group. Aloha.
And our special guest.
Hi everybody, I'm Steve Chun. I'm from Marketing Solutions Hawaii.
Awesome.
Steve, thanks for coming out, man.
Yeah,
How you
man.
doing today?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, no problem. Doing good, doing well. Yeah, excited to do this. My first time on a podcast, so I'm excited.
Yeah,
Nice,
I know it can get a little bit nerve-wracking, but don't worry, bro.
Right,
You got your buddies here. We're just
talking story.
talking story.
Trying to learn more about you, trying to get your story out there and stuff like that. These podcasts are about you guys for the most part.
We wanted to know pretty much where it all started. Take us as far back.
What do you want the people to know?
I'm pretty old. I could go pretty far back. So I was born and raised here in Hawaii. Grew up in Kaimuki. Went to Iolani High School.
That's where my mom went. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? I graduated in 2004.
I have no idea.
No idea. Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 39.
Okay,
So
my mom's like
Yeah.
50 something.
Okay. Yeah. So she's probably one of the first classes actually that I graduated
she's
from
old.
Iolani. Because
Shout out
not
to mom.
all the classes.
You're old, but
No.
we love you.
From
Right?
girls. It's not that old. No, she's not because they only started letting girls in, relatively recently.
Oh yeah,
So-
she did
Okay.
mention that. Yeah.
Yeah. Did she play tennis?
Nah, she didn't.
Okay. My dad was like the first tennis coach for Iolani girls.
Oh, okay.
So,
Nice.
but yeah, no, I went to Iolani for high school, then I went away to college in the mainland, a little school in Wisconsin. Then went to China for a year, studied teaching English in China. And right before that, I met my now wife, who we stayed together through China. And then I moved home, got my master's in communications from HBU. And then went up to follow her. She went to medical school in Texas, in Fort Worth. So when I moved to Texas, we lived in Fort Worth for about 5 years, and that's when I started working in marketing. So my first job was I was a therapy tech, which is like somebody who helps like physical therapists, occupational therapists at a nursing home, and I was helping the therapists out. And one day, one of the therapists and I were chatting, and she was like, "Oh, you're from Hawaii? You have your master's in communications?" I'm like, "Yeah, economy's tough right now. I'm doing what I can." And she's like, "Oh, well, my husband and I, we own a prosthetics and orthotics company, which is like prosthetic legs, right? Like they make limbs for people who've lost their limbs from accidents or various illnesses." And she said, "We're looking for a marketer. We need somebody that can help us out, grow our business and just social media, website, advertising, the whole deal." And she said, "We'd love to have you on." So that's kind of how I started my marketing career. I had various other jobs in healthcare marketing.
Okay.
I worked for a tissue, an allograft company.
Wow.
So human tissue, not like Kleenex.
Right.
Skin, tendon, bone.
Yeah.
Were they growing them, and
No.
or what were they doing?
It was from cadavers.
Cadavers. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
Got
quickly learned that I have a very strong stomach because like on the first couple.
How do you market that? Yeah, right.
Oh,
like let me take a photo or video or.
Yeah, like one of the first things I had to do was like I had to witness a recovery. They don't use the word harvesting. You don't use that word in this industry. You call it recovery. So you're recovering
the organs,
the tissue. The organs is a separate thing.
Okay.
We just did the tissue.
Crazy.
So I know it.
That is
So
nuts. There's a job for everything out there.
Yeah, you would never know.
Yeah, you would have never known,
the
right?
eyes is the craziest part. The eyes is the craziest part. They take like a little cylinder which has like a razor blade inside of it, and then they put it over the person's eye, and then they cut the cornea. They're cutting because that's all they want. They don't want the full eye. They're not like sucking the eye out.
They want that middle section.
They just want the lens. They just want the cornea because they're going to use that to implant for people that have various eye diseases,
issues.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So
Interesting.
I was like in the operating. It's not really an operating room, but it was in the room where they do the recovery. I mean, it's graphic, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, they're like
100%.
slicing open their legs, taking out bones, taking off skin, taking out tendons and things like that. You know, it's a whole deal.
Yeah.
So you were marketing for them.
Yeah, I was doing marketing. I was not one of the guys
Right,
in
right,
there
right.
cutting things
You're like,
off
hey,
or
hey, bro,
anything
you gotta
like
come get some content.
that. Yeah.
They're like, hey, we need some
Wait,
content
how long
in
ago?
here.
How long ago was this?
Real fast.
So this was we moved to Texas in 2011.
Okay.
So this was probably 2013, 2014.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I did that for a little while. I was like the liaison between their company and the local hospitals, right? Because that's where we would get the donors.
Gotcha.
The
Of
donors would come from the hospitals after they
Right,
pass
right,
away,
Mhm.
and then they'd make contact with the family, and then then the remains would be brought into our our facility for recovery.
Gotcha.
And then
They really taught you that word very well,
Yes,
right?
yes.
You're like, recovery. Every time you
Yes.
say it, you're like, it's
that is the word.
recovery.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in marketing communications, right? Like
Yeah,
words
yeah,
are
yeah,
words
yeah.
are important.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
are.
100%.
No,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
learned that yesterday.
That's
We were
right.
at an event. I'll tell you about it afterwards.
Yeah.
But
So-
what was some of that marketing material like?
Yeah, what'd you create for
It was
them?
it was a lot
More
of
photo,
internal
video,
stuff. It was
wording.
mostly internal stuff because it's like it's
Educating their own employees,
Exactly.
things like that, about
educating the
Okay.
employees,
certain things, yeah.
educating the administrators, the executives in the hospitals about like exactly
What's
we
going
did.
on, so there's no confusion and loss of, okay,
Right,
got it,
right. So-
crazy.
Right, because
Yeah.
you want to make them feel comfortable. That the loved ones of the people who have passed away. That their remains are in good hands. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Because
So-
there have been incidents of bodies going to bad hands out there. You know?
Well, I mean-
yeah. Maybe not your facility,
Yeah, no,
but
not our
in the
company.
world in general.
Yeah, people
yeah,
hear
yeah.
stories and things like that, right? And
Right.
it's a very sensitive
Right.
time, right,
Yeah, it's
for
a
people.
yeah.
So yeah, you try to keep them educated and up to
Mhm.
speed on what's happening, and then they can make the families feel comfortable, right?
Awesome.
That's the main thing. So I was doing a lot of that, and then I moved on to the sales side. So after the tendons and the skin and the bone, all of that is recovered. It's processed, so it's shipped to basically like a facility,
Mhm.
where they process it and turn it into grafts that can be implanted then into people who have had a ACL tear, or they've had some kind of other injury to a limb or to their back or neck or something like that. And so then now I'm going out and I'm basically like going out and talking to doctors and surgeons and things like that.
Buy these things from you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, surgical centers, things like
Right.
that. So I'm telling them, hey,
Interesting.
you need this. I know orthopedic, mostly a lot of orthopedic surgeons,
Mhm.
hey, you guys need this for your procedures. Here's what we offer. Their prices, all that kind of stuff. So doing a lot of that side. After my wife graduated from medical school, we moved to Washington State, Spokane, Washington. And so then I worked for like an LTAC and a rehab hospital.
Mhm.
So an LTAC is a long-term acute care hospital.
Mhm.
So it's a kind of hospital that normally takes patients. So acute care means like they're very sick.
Right.
So normally most of them
you
are on
need,
a
like,
ventilator.
being watched 24/7. Or
Exactly.
You need like a nurse. You need an RN.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Most of them are on a
crash carts,
ventilator
stuff like
actually.
that,
Yeah,
Oh, it's
they're on
like
a
ICU.
ventilator. So they're not isolated necessarily, but they do have private rooms. But it's
Okay.
not like isolation like they're contagious or anything like that.
Right.
Mm.
But they're having some sort of like issues with their respiratory system,
Respiratory
breathing.
system
Exactly.
issue, yeah.
So yeah, they're very, very sick. And then the other side is rehab. So that's like after you've had some kind of hip replacement, knee
I had a
replacement.
shoulder surgery, 6 months. I had to like get it back into
Yeah,
motion,
yeah.
all that stuff. Right.
Yeah, so that's outpatient. This is
Right.
like inpatient.
Okay,
so this is
got it.
people are like
They have to
they're-
stay in the hospital.
They have to stay in the hospital. Their
Yeah.
mobility, either they're so old or their mobility is so compromised, so limited, that they need to be in a hospital to help them recover so they can eventually go home. They're not like really, really, really
Right.
sick necessarily.
They
Usually,
just need help.
they just need help.
They need
Exactly.
help.
They need help getting up and
Right.
down and
Right.
feeding
Using the
and dressing,
bathroom, all
using the
these things.
bathroom.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. So I did marketing for them,
That's cool.
advertising, social
Yeah.
media, website design,
Mhm.
helping even with, sort of like business development sales. So working with doctors and hospitals in the area who would refer to our hospitals and send us patients.
Market research, you're going out asking questions and trying to figure it all out.
All that kind of stuff. And then I moved on to working for an oncology practice, so cancer practice. So it was a physician-owned cancer practice, about 25 physicians. They owned, they had 7 locations across like the Spokane, Northern Idaho area. And I was in charge.
And that was one of your first major clients, or biggest client at that time?
Yeah, that was probably my biggest job ever at that time, was because I was in charge of all marketing and communications for all of those locations, for all the doctors.
Right.
Yeah, and I had, I had an assistant, coordinator. I was working with vendors, who helped us make commercials and, do digital advertising and things like that. So after my wife's residency ended, I moved home, and then I became marketing manager for Polymomy Medical Center in IAO. So I did that for about 2 years, and then I moved, and then I started my business about 2 years after that. So now I'm the owner principal for Marketing Solutions Hawaii.
Congratulations,
Thank
bro.
you. Best professional decision I ever made in my life. Starting my own business.
No, that's great.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best decisions I've ever made too. Right? I'm right there alongside you.
Changed your life, right? When you became your own boss.
Yeah,
it changes your life.
You work so hard already.
You do,
and you might as well work hard for yourself.
If
you're gonna do it all.
I completely agree.
It is a tough world, but hey, life is tough. You gotta choose your heart. So now that you're in Hawaii, you've been here about 2 years now.
No, about 5 years.
5 years back now from when you came back. Okay, but 2 years running your own business at this point. Right, okay, got it. Yeah. And so in the marketing world, why don't you share little things like, what do you look at when you're trying to decide what kind of marketing you're going to implement into?
Yeah, I was about to ask you the same thing.
Like
business.
What do you look for? You're looking business size,
or what's exciting now
what's
for marketing?
Goal, right, what is going on? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So I specialize in helping businesses that don't have their own in-house marketing department or person, right? So I come in and I function, and I can't take full credit for this. Shout out to Craig Chong of Fresh Leadership. He's an amazing business consultant and leadership consultant, and he coined this term for me. He said, when I told him what I did, he said, "Steve, you're a fractional CMO, a fractional chief marketing officer." Right. So when I come in and look at a business, I'm approaching it from that perspective as what if I was your in-house, your guy,
the only guy.
If I was your marketing person, what would I do? How would I help you? And what's really happening right now in the marketing space that's coming, the philosophy that's taking hold is what's I kind of term it as, like, people have different terms for it, but what I call it is sort of like a storytelling type of marketing. Stories are really, really powerful. And so after reading this, I read this book recently called Story Brand, and it's all about how, utilizing a story, having your customer be the main character, having
they're the hero. The clients are the heroes of their journey.
Exactly.
Right. They're the heroes of their
journey.
Even when you're a sales guy, you got to make the person the hero of the journey. You're just here to guide them. You're the guide. You're the guide. You're the Yoda. You're the sage.
You're the sage.
Right. You're the sage that guides them through the. Right.
It's a shift for the company, because the company always wants to view themselves as the hero. They always think that they're Luke Skywalker, that they're Harry Potter,
they're Darth Vader.
No, they're not Darth Vader. They're not Darth Vader.
I was just kidding. Well, he comes around in the end. Right.
I guess so.
They come around in the end,
and
right?
eventually,
I guess I'm not
the hero.
Luke Skywalker.
But the company, it's true. Everything they do in marketing, they're always me. It's always about the company. Me.
We're the best quality. I'm the best. I'm the fastest. I'm the thing, right? And it's like, they don't want to hear you talk about yourself.
They don't want to hear you talk about. They want to talk about. They want to hear about themselves.
Right. They want to associate the thing that you said with their life. Somehow, and it's like, okay, that's gonna work for me. That kind of like association, right? Yeah.
So if you want to position yourself well, first of all, position the customer, the client as the hero of the story. The
That's
company,
great advice.
The company you're the guide. You're, like I said, you're the Yoda, the Gandalf, whatever, you know. You're the person that is Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're the one that's shepherding the customer, the hero, through their journey to ultimately defeat
Darth Vader.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, the main guy.
Yeah, the Emperor, whatever, you know, Voldemort, whatever it is.
Whatever the bad guy is at
Whatever
the
bad guy
end.
is, you're out there to help them defeat that, and that's usually a problem of some kind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's some sort of problem or obstacle that's getting in between the customer and what they ultimately want in life, right? Because like using the story, you know, if we continue with like the Star Wars theme, for example, right? So
It was just May 4th.
exactly.
We didn't do anything, so that's
timely.
just right.
Yeah, we'll pretend like we did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Right, like, okay, so Luke Skywalker, right, everyone says, oh, what does Luke Skywalker want? Oh, he wants to defeat Darth Vader. He wants to, you know, destroy the Death Star. Well, is that really
He
what
wants to be
Luke
useful.
wants?
He wants to
Exactly.
be the guy. He wants to be the man. He wants to
Yeah.
be,
He wants,
you know, he wants to
highlight.
contribute to the
he
world.
wants to
and
help, right?
help, yeah.
Yeah, he wants to get out of his
little
home,
world
and
and
he wants to see the world.
see
He
the
wants to go
world
on an
and wants to do the
adventure.
adventure. Yeah.
Yeah, right? That's
Yeah.
really what Luke wants.
Yeah, then he lost
You
his
know?
hand and he got a little serious.
Well,
It's
yeah,
all
let's
fun and games. I lost my hand.
Let's just stick to
Right.
the first movie. You know, we'll just stick to the first movie for now. We don't want to get too complicated.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
trilogy.
yeah. So, but I mean, that's his internal motivation,
I agree.
right? You know what I mean? And so, right now in marketing, that's really what is the philosophy behind a lot of marketing, and this is what should be driving your strategy, your tactics, your messaging. Is what is the internal motivating factor your customer is experiencing, right? What obstacle is in there, and what obstacles are in their way of them experiencing that, right? So if you're a we'll take, like, you know, if you're a beauty brand, for example, you know what I mean? So what is the obstacle? Well, you know, superficially people would say, well, you know, someone wants lipstick, right? They don't have lipstick, they need lipstick. That's the motivator.
But why are they
But-
putting
but
lipstick on?
exactly,
What's the reason?
What's
why,
the reason, right?
Why do they need to?
Right.
Right, and you want to go deeper.
You want to go deeper than that, right? So what's, you know, ultimately the motivator is probably something more along as like they want to feel beautiful about themselves, right? They want to feel that they're beautiful, or they want to, you know,
It makes them feel a way.
Exactly. They want to
Makes them
makes them
some
feel
kind of
powerful.
way.
Makes them
Right.
feel, you know,
Yeah.
empowered. Makes them feel confident.
Put
That's
those lashes on, done.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you're like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's an internal motivator, and that's what your marketing should be addressing. Not oh, hey, we have
our
you need,
motivation.
Yeah. You
Right.
need
Right.
you need lipstick and eyelash. We have it.
Right,
you know, we
right,
have
right.
it at a discounted price. Here,
Yeah.
you want it?
You're
we have
ugly.
it. There
Buy
you go.
this.
Yeah.
Put this on.
Yeah.
That's not a good marketing message. It might work for some, right?
I mean,
but right.
look at like all like the big brands, right? For example, Nike.
Actually, I guess you could say there was like they're calling people ugly. You gotta put lipstick on.
No,
But no.
that does not work.
I'm just
That's not the
playing.
marketing.
I was just
Okay,
playing.
okay. We're just-
Do that.
Yeah.
Do not do that.
Yeah.
Make you feel
that's
bad
not-
about yourself,
Yeah.
right? You gotta.
No.
It could be a marketing
Yeah.
strategy. Oof, that'd be a rough one.
Negative
Yeah.
marketing.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
That's the
doesn't work.
news.
Doesn't work.
It does not work.
That's the news.
That's the news.
That's CNN. All those guys.
Yeah. But no, I mean, like, yeah, like look at McDonald's, for example. I don't know why I always love when I was teaching a class at HPU on marketing. I used to tell my students. I always use McDonald's as an example. I don't know why. I guess I just love McDonald's.
The McDonald's is so interesting,
Yeah.
but I can't
Look
wait
how
to hear
big
this.
they are,
I'm
like-
listening. I'm listening.
Okay. Look at McDonald's. Okay, do they ever like really? Is the message in their marketing ever really like, hey, are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Come eat McDonald's. No, right? It's
Happy
never.
place,
It's
the-
about happiness.
Right.
Family. It's like
You-
come to McDonald's
yeah,
and
yeah,
be
yeah,
happy.
right.
Come to McDonald's and be closer to
happy
your
meal.
children.
Get a happy meal. Get
Exactly.
yeah,
have
yeah.
happy children,
Mhm.
you know, or experience childhood again, right? They have
Right.
like
Different.
they're doing like adult Happy Meals now, right?
Really?
They're doing adult Happy Meals now. They're doing Happy Meals that are like
That's
they have like
interesting.
10-piece chicken nuggets and a large. I mean, no kid is gonna eat.
And it's
What
way
f-
overpriced.
Yeah, what $5? It's like $15.
I just
like,
paid $10 for an egg McMuffin meal.
yeah,
This morning. It was rough.
It's crazy.
They gave me a watered down fruit punch.
Oh, I hate that. The orange juice,
I
when
wanted
they
to
give you
fight
watered
them.
down orange juices. I'm
Ow.
it's not
I was
fair.
actually so
Hey, when
mad.
times get tough, and they do the thing on the bottom of the bottle where they take a little bit out, right? They gotta give you less.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't fill the bag all the way up anymore.
I haven't been there in a
Right?
while.
Yeah.
So it's not about the quality of the food,
Right.
right? That's
Yeah.
not what they're
It's the
selling.
journey, it's
It's
the
a- it's a
thing,
feeling
it's the
when you
happy,
eat it, yeah.
it's the
It's the
feeling,
feeling.
excitement, experience.
Exactly, exactly. So
Right.
however you feel about the product
Yeah.
itself, right? If they can make you associate the product with a feeling,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Then it kind of like transcends what the actual product or service is itself.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%.
So that's really like I feel like that's where marketing is going. I mean, that's where it's been for a while, but that's kind of the
Add social media, add these other things, right?
social
right,
media,
yeah,
add
yeah.
AI, and
Because
you know,
even before all that, it was, still their journey you want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
attack to
yeah.
a degree,
Well, it
right?
depends
or
on the
go
brand,
after,
too.
right? Yeah.
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 depends on the brand for sure,
No.
for sure. Now if we're talking tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we just talked about was strategy. That's really strategy.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
strategy around different types of messaging and how you message and things like that.
Yeah.
But if we're talking
Where
like
you should start almost.
purely about exactly that's
Right,
where you
almost
should
where
start.
you should start.
Yeah, that's the
yeah.
core. But if you're talking
Yeah.
tactics and like how we do things,
Many
now
ways to do things.
in
right.
marketing, I mean,
Mhm,
AI is really changing everything now.
mhm. I use AI for so much.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so much you can do from a content creation perspective,
Productivity perspective.
productivity
and-
perspective.
You know how
Just
long
all
it
of
used to
it.
take me to think of a description to write on Instagram
Oh,
without
God.
being so critical on myself?
Right,
Yeah.
And now I can just go to AI and be like,
Yeah.
hey, type this thing, Instagram
Talk to it.
description,
You just
make it
talk to
funny,
it now,
go.
right, yeah,
and then
yeah.
copy, paste, done.
You put what you
Oh my
think
goodness.
about into that and talk to
Right,
it, and then
right.
it just kind of
Bro, I was
It
Right,
just saves
so-
so
I
much
was-
mental energy.
oh,
The
yeah.
mental, the mental
Oh, yeah.
capacity, and then
I
the one
was-
thing I always tell is just quality control. Always read through, always double check,
Yeah.
Of
like
course.
all that.
Yeah, of
stuff.
course,
But at the
yeah.
end of the day, the description doesn't really matter that much anyway.
Right.
So.
Yeah. It's an SEO thing, right? It's mostly an SEO thing. 100%.
Description, Instagram description.
Well, they read
No,
by
it-
like language models, right? So it's a lot of his language
Well,
models.
yeah, also
and stuff
for like
that.
reels, if
Um,
people read the description, it keeps them on the video longer as well.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's just
yeah,
like
yeah.
about them reading
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why some people make it really long.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's
And
a
the
good point.
SEO part as well. Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah,
does help. Yeah.
Dude, the comment
Yeah.
section though.
Right, yeah.
Don't read the comment section.
No, never.
I
Yeah,
love
never
Instagram
read the comment section. That's cool, man. And then, so what are some of the companies you're working with now? Mostly still medical field, or are you starting to branch out to more?
I wish, you
Right.
know, I mean, I wish, because that's what I know.
Right.
And
that
that's
would
what
be
I
your
wanted to niche
backbone.
myself
Okay,
as.
yeah.
Actually, but I shouldn't say I wish. I'm very happy with the clients I have. I love the clients I have.
Yeah.
You know, the first client I had was actually Senator Brandon Elefante. He's
Oh,
the
no
state
way.
senator for Halava, Pearl City, and Aiea. At the time, he was the city councilman, but he was
Getting ready to
he was
start.
terming out exactly,
Yeah.
and he was getting ready to run for
That's a whole
the
campaign.
state
Yeah.
state
Yeah,
senate
that's a-
exactly.
Mhm.
And so
campaign.
he's a friend of myself and my wife, and he you know, he was my first big client. He said, hey Steve, you know, I hear you're starting your business. I trust you. You know, I want you to help me, you know, help with the marketing communications for my campaign. And yeah, I mean, all I can say is that we won by a lot. You know, I don't know what else to say.
It matters.
Hey,
It
yeah.
matters.
It matters.
I mean,
that you have to do those things.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he
Right.
he did a great job.
Yeah.
Our whole team did a great job. But you know, I feel like I want
Great
to take a little
job,
bit of
man.
credit.
Of
Yeah, I actually want to
course.
take a little bit of credit. We won by by a large margin, and we were implementing things that
Other people weren't.
other people weren't. You know,
Right.
we were doing.
They don't earn up with the times. They don't want to spend the
Yeah.
money. They want to pocket the money versus actually spending on marketing and
Yeah,
all these different
I
things.
don't know what I
all
don't know
these
what
different
they were doing.
tactics, probably.
But they weren't. I mean, we were
Yeah.
doing YouTube ads. We
Right.
were doing Google ads. We were doing social media ads. We were doing
Yeah.
text message. You know, we were doing email.
At the time, what was most effective? Was it the YouTube, you would say?
Everything.
We were doing mailers.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's
There's
hard.
so
It's
many-
hard to say what was most effective.
Right, because there
Are
was
you
so
keeping
much out
track
there.
in a way?
Oh
How
yeah.
are you trying to?
Oh,
keep,
yeah.
Yeah,
keeping
that's
track.
another
Okay.
question
Yeah.
that I
Some
wanted
people
to
don't.
ask
Track.
too.
Yeah, some people don't.
You have
yeah,
to
you
keep
have to
track.
keep track.
Analytics.
You have to.
Data.
Analytics
You have
is
to
huge.
test
Yeah.
A/B. You have to do.
test.
I test everything on TikTok, like Dan
Yeah.
Martell does, right? So
Yeah.
that's what Dan Martell says. He goes, test everything on TikTok because it doesn't really matter. You can kind of just blast it. You can put A/B testing or even 3 or 4. It doesn't matter. And then you take the best one and then you
And
move
you put
it
it
to
onto the other platforms.
Instagram and stuff like that. So that's
Yeah,
kind of
'cause
what
those guys are
I
freaking
do.
dinging you now.
Right, they'll start dinging you and stuff like that. But I don't, I post like 2 times a day at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to do the Alex Hormozy thing.
Mm.
You know, we try to post 2-3 times a day. I'm working with my graphics girl, Kayla. Shout out to Kayla. On working with like the branded post content carousel, more stuff with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
100%.
Does she do video editing?
She does. It does.
How
yeah,
much
yeah.
does that cost? You know, for like a short form.
Like,
reel?
how much? What do you need? Yeah, it depends on what you need.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
just depends on what you need. If you have to go
Yeah,
get content, you have to create
yeah.
the content,
Well,
take
yeah.
the video, do the
Well,
thing.
yeah,
what's
once you
the
have the
feel?
content, just the
Yeah.
editing. Because I suck at editing.
Editing is a rough
I
one. Yeah,
suck.
CapCut, bro. That's what I use.
takes
right
time,
now. But it does
man.
take
It
time.
takes time.
CapCut
It's
is
tedious.
beastly right now.
Bro, it's once you understand
How to
the
do it. It's quicker and quicker and
tools,
quicker.
Like
right.
on laptops, like the trimming quick buttons,
The splits,
bro.
the
Yeah,
thing,
the splits and
right,
the transition.
yeah,
like
yeah.
it gets easier once you start to understand it. Just
more and
play with
more.
it.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
play with it
yeah.
if you
And
can.
batching. Batching is really important. Batching is
Mm.
really helpful.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So when you make content, you know what I mean. It's really helpful to batch your content.
Right.
So I mean, this is what all the best marketers will say.
Organizing,
Is
like
you organize
organizing
it.
it,
You
Mhm.
say,
right.
okay, every Monday. You know what I mean? From whatever 9 a.m. to 12
I'm
p.m.
gonna create
I'm gonna
content.
create content.
Just create
You know what I mean? That's what I'm
content.
gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna whatever
Yeah.
whether it's record videos or
Mhm.
whatever. You're gonna create that content. You're gonna edit it during that time, and then
Right.
you're gonna have that for the whole week.
Right.
You know what I mean? Rather than doing it every single day,
Yes.
which
Yeah,
is
it's
really
you're gonna
hard.
burn out really
Right.
fast.
Yeah.
So what I do is I
Yeah.
store content. I'm always just taking content.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna use it right away.
Yeah.
Right? But I know for a fact that I always run out of content.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. And then at the beginning of
Yeah.
the month,
yeah.
plan it out. You know what I mean? Put it on a calendar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'll be
Make
amazed
it
actually.
happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be amazed actually when you plot it out on a calendar and
Not as
you
much.
it's not as many posts as you think it is
Yeah.
when you fill in the things that you have coming up. You know what I mean that month. It depends on what you do, of course, but
Right.
I mean, most of my clients, right? Like they like posting for certain holidays. I mean, when you put out all the holidays, I mean that's already like usually 3-4 posts
Yeah.
already. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Gone, right,
Easy,
yeah.
right
Yeah.
there.
You could almost get 15, honestly. If we're really
Yeah.
there's like
That's
15
like,
holidays we
you know,
could take
like,
around.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You want to do National
Right, yeah,
Donut
yeah,
Day?
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
you want to
yeah,
do
all of them.
You
National.
could do all of them, right?
Exactly, you can do all of them. You want to do National,
so much.
backwards hat
Yeah,
day
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
you want
yeah.
to do, you can
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
But for the
Okay.
just for the
Yeah.
major holidays, you're looking at usually like 2
Yeah.
or 3 a month.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
And then event recaps and all that kind of stuff. So getting yourself like
Mhm.
organized, batching your content creation beforehand, that's really really helpful. So anyway, back to my client. So I Brandon was Senator Elefante. I call him Brandon because he's my buddy. But
Nice.
Senator Elefante was my first client. I then quickly got another client who I've been with for about 3 years now. Glenn Furia and Debbie Bacon of Leadership Works. So they're a local leadership development company. They specialize in helping grow leaders, especially within Hawaii-based local companies here. They've been around for over 40 years doing an amazing job, and they're a wonderful client. So
40 years is a long time.
yeah,
Shout out.
long time.
It's a
Yeah,
long time to be around
Yeah.
as a business.
exactly. I
Right.
mean, Glenn was just awarded, I think, last year, or maybe a little over a year ago, by the UH College of Education, the Outstanding Alumni Award. So he's definitely a sage in the leadership field. So if you're looking to grow your business and to improve your leaders in your business, you know what I mean, you should definitely check out Leadership Works.
Cool.
My other clients are Hawaii HC&D, so they're a concrete mixing company. You might have seen them around town.
Hawaii Concrete and
They used to be called Hawaii Concrete and Dredging, I think it was, but
they
now
got bought out, right?
by Amaron.
Right, they got bought out.
But now they're just HC&D. They bought it back, you know. So now it's now it's AC&D, owned locally.
Because they got that big job at the.
I don't know.
That's what I heard. That's why they bought it. They were like, oh, we're gonna pay $100 million in concrete, or we just buy the company. Company was worth less than I think they were gonna spend the amount of money or something like that. That's what I heard.
Bought it and then run it.
Right, you're gonna pay yourself and make 10% net. You might as well, right? Like,
I don't know about that, but they have a lot of big jobs. Yeah,
Nice.
they do a lot of big jobs from sky rises to
awesome.
city and county.
There's
stuff,
only a couple
state
concrete
stuff.
companies out here. Yeah, it's not a lot.
Yeah.
I think there's like 3.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think that's it. Yeah, I think there's like
Interesting.
3.
There's not a lot. So it's
Not a lot,
Yeah, I'm not doing a lot
yeah.
of external communications and marketing
Right.
for them. It's mostly
Because they don't really need it.
Yeah, they don't really need it,
They're
you know.
like, it's only 3, right?
I do a lot of internal stuff for them though. They're a bigger company, right? A lot of employees, and so they want
Keeping
to
their people informed.
Exactly, keeping their people informed
Right.
and keeping their
That's a whole
clients.
nother marketing thing you don't
Yeah,
really think
man.
about
Yeah, you
until
don't think about that.
until
That's
you
true.
get that.
Yep.
Until you get to the
that
point where you have like 100, 200, 300, 400
Right.
employees. Then, we're not even thinking that far yet.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
It
100%.
becomes really important because
Right.
your employees are your brand,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Your
100%.
employees are the primary spokesperson, spokes whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They
the
can
correct
be.
term.
They're ambassadors.
Yeah, exactly.
To your
They're your brand
They're
ambassadors.
your,
They are. They're the
Who-
front line.
who would be the best? It's besides the guy who's devoting 20, 30 years into your company, right? Like, why would he?
Exactly.
Right? If he didn't believe in what you were doing to
So
that degree.
you need to effectively
Right.
and accurately communicate,
Your
your
vision,
vision,
goals.
your mission.
That's what a leader does.
Your goals,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
to
I was telling the
your-
other
to
guys, like,
employees.
that's Braveheart for you, right? The guy at the front, and he's screaming, yelling, do you want freedom or what?
Yeah.
Guys, like, what do you want?
Yeah,
Do you want the freedom? Are you going to come with me and fight these guys or no?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I picture the leadership
Right,
front
right,
is.
right.
You got to be the guy on the horse screaming at everybody, like, do you really
The
want this or
painted
not?
face and everything.
Right, do you want this or not? And then people go like, nah, I'm going to go. Right, and then you go, okay, cool. Now we know who wants this or not. Right, like you don't want freedom as much. I see.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
if your leaders are doing an effective job, right, of like conveying
You're
the message
behind them.
exactly, you're
Charging behind them, right?
and
Yeah.
then you can help, and that's going to
Yeah.
propel your company forward.
Yes.
Right. So it's really important.
Love it.
My other client is a really really awesome client, Luna Lilo Home. They're a nursing home out in Hawaii Kai.
Nice.
They were founded from the will of King Luna Lilo when after he
Really?
passed. So I mean, yeah, they've been around since like the 1860s.
That's wild.
They're doing amazing things, for our kupuna, our elderly. They started a nonprofit recently. They provide, meals to elderly in their homes. They're kind of Meals on Wheels type deal. They do, what's it called? They have an adult daycare, and also, of course, they have the home itself. Where kupuna can come and be taken care of.
Right. Yeah.
So those are my primary clients. I have a few others in the wings right now that haven't really gotten started,
of
so I really don't want to
course.
talk about them right
Right,
now
right, right.
because
Great job, man.
things haven't really
No, that's cool.
Yeah,
come
that's awesome.
coalesced yet with them. But those are my primary clients.
Sweet.
It's great.
Yeah.
Right on. You do anything off island or everything is on island?
Right now.
Um,
It's easier.
Everything on island right now, but HC&D they do have a location on Maui, so I'm setting up a photo shoot for them on Maui because we need some high quality photos of
Right.
the Maui location so that we can do some advertising of the Maui locations as well. So no, I do I have partners that I work with on other islands, on neighbor islands, and but no, I mean I'm really focused on Hawaii. I'm like I said, I was born and raised here.
Yep.
So my mission is really to help local businesses.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I want people that are in Hawaii that have Hawaii roots to be able to stay here, live here, work here. Because it's tough. It's tough here.
tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
The only way I see myself helping people is like give them an opportunity, a business, help them
Yeah.
with money, help them, give them opportunity to grow and buy a house, and which requires a business that does well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that we can hire and grow and keep people here.
Yep.
It's the best way to keep them here
Exactly.
is to pay them well enough so they can afford it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's no other way right now.
No,
Unless
there's
you're
no
gonna go
other
jump
way.
into politics and
Yeah.
try to figure all that out.
Yeah, I don't
and
wanna- we
that's
don't
a
wanna
whole
get into
nother
that. No,
thing,
that's a whole
which
nother
will.
thing.
Yeah. So.
I mean, yeah, that's really what I'm focused on right now. You know,
Nice.
helping local companies.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
So with helping local companies, let's just say some startups that are listening to our podcast, right, and maybe even watching, what are some things or what direction should they go in as far as marketing? Should some of them focus a lot of their attention on like Instagram or Facebook, do organic local stuff
Okay.
or sponsored stuff,
Yeah.
or do what Brandon did, right? Test a bunch of stuff on X.
Before we talk
So
about
much to do.
again tactics, that's that sort of thing. Before we
Right.
talk about
A
tactics,
lot of tactics.
Yeah, before we talk about
Yeah.
tactics, the
Going
first
back
thing that that a startup should think about is what is your. This might sound kind of counterintuitive, but I'm gonna make a case for it. What is your smallest viable market? And I heard this from a recent book called On Marketing. I forgot. I think it's what's his name. No, I can't remember the name exactly, but it's called On Marketing.
Okay.
And he said, every company needs to think about what is your smallest viable market. What that means is that what are the least number of people
Okay.
that you need in order to be successful.
Mm.
Okay, what are the least number of clients
Okay.
that you need to be successful?
Gotcha.
Not what do you want? Like,
Right.
I want 1 million clients. I
Right,
want
right,
to do
right.
$1 billion in revenue a year.
Right.
No. Don't think about that. Yeah, that's great. Of course, if everyone wants to grow.
Right.
But first, when you're first starting out, think about what is the smallest viable market you need.
That you would be okay with. That
Yeah,
you'd be happy
that will achieve your
Keep
goals
you right.
and,
Okay.
and move
Right.
you forward. Okay,
Yes, I like
you know what I
that.
mean. That will pay the bills, get you moving in the right direction. You know what I mean, and allow you to grow. What is that? What is the size of that market? And it varies, right, depending on what you do, right? Because if you sell a product that's $1,000, that could be a very, very small market. But if you sell a product that's $1, then obviously your market might need to be much bigger.
Yeah.
Or maybe you sell a product that is $1,000 been only used once,
Right.
and
versus
maybe you
recurring.
exactly.
And so on and
Maybe
so
you
forth.
sell a product.
What is the
that's-
thing you're selling, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what is it? How does it make you money in the total
Mhm,
aspect
of course,
of
of
it?
course.
Right, yeah.
And then, like I said, how many people
Do
do
you
you really need to
to-
be?
right.
Do you really need to be reaching in order for
Right.
yourself
One
your
thing
company to be viable?
One thing I tell people is you have two options. You can sell to more people or higher ticket.
Higher
Right?
ticket,
There's
yeah.
really only
Yeah,
two.
yeah.
Like you got to sell to either. If you're at $100, you probably got to sell to more people to make $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you're at 50,000 or 100,000 per client, you only need 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's all math, right? You got to know your math.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once you figure that out, for a startup, I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
next thing then you need to begin to working on is creating your funnel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all sales funnels, they start with awareness and then it funnels down towards advocacy. What we call advocacy, right? That's when you have at the top you have people that aren't aware of you, and then your goal is just for them to become aware
Exposure,
that
awareness
you exist.
that you exist.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the top of the funnel.
And how many people, and then
Yeah.
then you filter to like who, and then
Yeah.
and then stuff like that.
Yeah. And then at the very bottom, then
kind of
you
clients?
have clients who become ambassadors.
Or
you
they
have
go out there talking
advocates.
about you
Exactly.
all
They're out
day,
there
every
talking
day.
about you,
Yeah.
praising your good good graces and all that sort of stuff, and
That's
saying
the
how
best.
amazing you are.
That's the best.
That's ultimately what you want.
Yeah.
But that number is going to be very, very small, right, compared to the big
masses.
funnel
Yeah.
of the masses who are just barely aware that you exist.
Right.
Right. So tactically, I mean, I obviously like digital stuff is huge. You got to have a great website. You got to have social channels, appropriate social channels, for your target audience, right? I mean, if your target audience is, 40 plus, 45 plus, you don't need to be on TikTok. You know,
No.
like
Right.
you know, I mean, if you're busy, if your target
You
audience,
got to
is-
know your audience.
it's
You
business.
definitely have to know
Yeah.
your audience.
Is
right,
if they're business members, you know, you need to
Right.
be on, you know, or businesses or
B2B,
they're professionals.
B2C,
You got to be on
all that
LinkedIn.
stuff, right? Yeah.
You know, all that
Yep.
stuff, and then in
Yeah.
between of LinkedIn, you got to be on Facebook and
Yeah.
Instagram.
Mhm.
And you know, you got to have an email. You got to have an email list.
mhm.
You got to have a newsletter. Email is really, really great because it's incredibly cheap.
It's so cheap.
It's super cheap. I mean,
Yeah.
you're just really basically just paying.
Once you get that
for,
CRM set up and
Yeah.
whatever system you're in.
Yeah, you're just paying for the platform.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
whether
100%.
it doesn't matter what
Yeah.
platform it is, whether it's Mailchimp or Constant Contact or
Mm-hmm.
you know Go High Level or you know whatever it is. You know, it's usually they're relatively cheap, and all you're paying for then is that, and then your time to make the emails.
The emails,
Right?
which you can send out to people.
Exactly.
Have other people do.
Exactly, and
Right.
it's so much better than it's more cost effective
Yeah.
than even digital ads because every digital ad you're paying whether it's 1 cent or $1 per click per view. You know what I mean? You're paying for that. Same thing with obviously print and radio and things like that are getting to phase out. But even that you're paying.
Yeah, a lot of
for-
those companies are switching to like online presence,
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
website,
Yeah.
their the list they already have, the viewers they already stuff
But you're
like that,
paying
yeah.
for the level of exposure, right? That's why like a Super Bowl ad is so expensive. It's not because
The time of year is a big one too.
Yeah.
Like political races take
Yeah.
up a lot of airwaves during certain times, like
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There's certain events in the world that will take airtime.
yeah.
And,
But you're-
and then the price increases during that time
exactly.
as well to even be present.
But your
during that
email
time,
costs.
right.
Your email doesn't
No,
change the price.
no, it
email
doesn't,
doesn't change
yeah.
the price ever.
I think we talked about that one time. Yeah, it's super effective. I think
know?
if you're not doing newsletters, if you're not doing email campaigns, if you're not doing any of that, you're feeling at a basic level.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
basic
That's
level.
the base.
That's
That's the
Fundamentals.
fundamentals
Yeah.
right there. Yeah,
You have to be.
It's the
you have to
touch.
be doing
It's
email.
the
You know, I've
touch
been
every
looking
so
at lately
often,
our
right?
public bulletin boards.
That's a way. Well, we're working on the flyers for you
Just-
to get
yeah.
that done. So
Trying to hit all the Jamba
Yeah.
Juices,
We'll
all
work-
the
yeah,
we'll work
Starbucks, all
on
the
that.
Whole Foods.
I put my
I've been
card up
paying
at those
attention,
places,
bro.
right? Like
I look.
I was at Morning
I look
Brew.
at
They had that
those.
table right in front. I dropped my card right on top.
That's
right?
free
Like,
advertising,
that's
right
free
there.
space.
Yeah.
Like
Free
Yeah.
space.
they're not charging you. They don't
Yep.
care. Like just drop it. Do it. Who cares?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then as they pass by, because what I do, I take the realtors' cards and stuff like that,
And,
right?
just
Because
call them and be like,
I'm gonna
hey,
go throw it
I
in
saw
my
your stuff."
CRM,
Yeah.
right? You let it, you put it on the
You
table,
wanted
it's
your
free,
info right
right?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got into my CRM.
Yeah.
Little did you know.
Yeah. Hey, that's what you want. I mean,
Right.
and that's what you should be focusing on initially is
Building
building
that
growing that
yeah.
CRM,
Yeah.
growing that
Yeah,
email
that
list,
list.
growing that list.
10,000, 20,000,
You know?
50,000,
Yeah.
100,000.
And
What
right.
would be better?
And it doesn't need to,
Right.
but it
Yeah.
doesn't need to be. Doesn't
It
need
could
to
be
be that big.
right. It doesn't have to
Because
be.
if,
right.
your smallest
Yeah.
viable market is 100 people, right? If what you're selling is valuable enough, or they're buying it over and over,
and over
enough,
again,
then
you
you
don't
don't
have to go that
need
far,
you don't
right.
need to be that high.
Right.
You know what I mean? As long, but that's why, like, I also tell people, and I've heard it myself, like, don't be afraid of, like, and my client and I have worked this out together. Like, we've learned that we can't be afraid of unsubscribes. You can't be afraid
Oh, the
of
churn and
unsubscribes.
all
You
that
can't be
stuff,
afraid
right,
of being, blocked or unsubscribed
That's
from.
interesting.
If you're
Didn't even know
watching
that was
that
a
to a
thing.
degree too, you're kind of you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's okay if you're
To
watching
know.
it. It's okay to know, but don't be
No,
overly concerned
But
by
don't
it,
right, yeah.
right? Because what does that mean ultimately when someone unsubscribes? What does that
They're
mean?
just not interested.
They're just not
Yeah.
interested,
Yeah.
right? They're not engaged.
The
with
offer
you.
needs to be for them.
And so it's not
Right.
exactly. It's
The offer
not
needs to be for them,
yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
They're saying they're
Right.
saying to you, this is not
Yeah.
for me.
Right.
The one
This
when I
is not
teach
for
sales,
me.
the one thing I teach is like, sales is so simple. What you're doing is you're going out there telling people what you do, and they go like, I could use that, right or not,
Yeah.
right? That's all it is. Like window cleaning or windows or construction or marketing. You're gonna go out there and you go, hey, my name is blank, and this is what I do, and they're gonna go, huh? Do I need that? You know, or does that other guy suck? And I need to switch over. Like
Yeah.
they're already thinking
Yep.
about how to
They're in the
figure
space.
it out.
Yeah.
And if they need you, they'll know, or they
Yeah.
got somebody and they're satisfied. They're good, right?
Yeah.
So it's just they'll know if they want you or need you or want to work with
What
you
if
as
they
well.
don't know they
Yeah.
need you?
Such in which way, right?
So that's another.
Yeah.
That's an
Yeah,
interesting.
'cause, like,
yeah.
I didn't
interesting
even
problem.
think about cleaning my windows.
So
like something like
it's their thing, right? It's what they care about, right? They might not care about. I'm probably never gonna clean my window. No, I don't care enough, right? Like they still have to want the offer, right? They gotta want it, you know. To
gotta be a driving factor.
Yeah, there's gotta be a driving factor to them, to like the pain point, right? He's talking about
pain point.
the pain point. Like, does the windows bother me enough where it's gonna like I'm gonna go worry about them every month?
Oh yeah.
Right. Like you got to.
Men
It's
usually
not
it doesn't
something
bother them.
it doesn't.
Women,
yeah.
my wife, she
Right.
tells me all the time.
Yeah, the men guy don't
Dude,
care
you
so
gotta
much
clean
versus the
this
women,
shit,
right?
Dre.
It's just,
For sure.
right, 100%, right? It's just a matter
Door
of
as well.
yeah. Like, okay, who do you think buys all the kitchens? You think it's the man?
Nah.
Hell no.
Unless it's
It's
like
He
man
pays
buying
for it,
for
right?
it,
He
yeah.
pays for. Well, okay, let's not call it that. That's kind of it's like, but you know, he'll cut the check, right? But he doesn't care as much.
Yeah.
You
Unless he's a
know?
cook,
Yeah,
when
unless
it
he's
matters,
a cook,
right? Like
Oh,
gas stove.
I had
with
one of the right.
I like
care
his-
about the
I like
kitchen.
Right,
You know
one
what
of
I
the
mean?
like a six
two,
stove.
yeah, right, yeah, but
I
most
care.
of the
I
time,
want a good
80% are the women, right?
good frying pan.
He puts his ninja on the counter and then just goes, right,
Hey,
good.
those are
Right,
cool
those
too,
are
though.
Steaks.
Those things are killer, bro. Right?
Yeah, my brother
everybody's
got the
using
ice
that.
cream one.
Yeah, yeah.
The soft serve ice cream
Oh,
one.
I want that.
I've been wanting to
Right,
get it
right,
too.
right, yeah.
one.
So
I've been-
you know, I think I think they gotta want what you like. You
Yeah.
gotta fit in their world to a degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
Right,
that,
yeah.
I think that you need
And all you can do
also-
is be there and present when they
Yes.
do want that thing. Like, oh, okay. Because, like, one thing I teach people is like, okay, so you went and met someone 5 years ago and you told them, I do construction, right? You don't talk to them in 5 years. You don't show up on their feed in 5 years. You don't email them in 5 years. There's probably going to be someone in between that shows up
Yeah.
For sure.
somewhere in between that. A person, a thing, a commercial, a message,
Some kind of trigger.
some kind of thing that's going to get in your
Gonna
way
trigger, yeah.
if you don't do it.
Yeah.
Right? So you either got to do it or someone else will, right? And either they'll get the job or you get the job, right? So that's why it's more marketing and the right marketing and the
touch
things
points.
and touch points, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're saying the touch points are getting more and more now.
It used to be 7. Used to be 7.
Now they're
So
saying
what
like
is it?
15
Yeah.
or something,
15
like
is
11 to
touch points?
15 or
Lot
something like
more.
that.
Wait,
yeah.
Same.
what increased?
Because there's access to people, saturation. You can literally Google. You can do like it's just the competition is right there now.
There's so many more.
Right.
They're getting
Right,
consumers are getting
bombarded.
bombarded
Oh, yeah.
exactly
With Amazon.
sales.
Amazon's
pitches.
gonna
Jesus
and take up their space
Christ.
too, right? And
Yeah.
McDonald's gonna take up their
Yeah.
space, and their and
Yeah.
the Taco Bell and the
Yeah.
Chipotle's and the you are fighting everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
For
YouTube's got
attention.
more commercials
This is
than
why-
ever right, now,
Right, and which is
man.
why, like I said before, like the whole idea about stories telling, as using that as a tool is so effective and is so important because when you're, you know what I mean, the consumer, the viewer, the audience, they're getting bombarded
Yeah.
by these messages all the time, and that's why people just tune it out
Right.
because it takes too much effort
Yeah.
to filter all of them yourself, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
people, like
How
all
often?
of us,
What I say is like, how often do you see the same thing?
yeah.
Very rarely, to a degree. To a degree, you see it once in a while come back. It'll be like pop up like a Vine from like a Vine thing come back.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But honestly, how much content do you scroll through in general? You
Yeah,
know, and
exactly.
it's just constant new stuff.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you need a way to like break through that.
Right.
And stories are a great way to do that because stories are something that like everyone understands, everyone recognizes immediately.
And everyone loves a
and
good
everyone
story.
loves stories, right?
Yeah.
And it's so
People will listen.
so it requires less
Yeah.
brain power and less comprehension. There's less effort really to comprehend a good story than it is to comprehend like this
A hook,
complicated
a
sales
screen-
pitch.
the pitch, right? Yeah, that
hook,
makes
yeah.
sense.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
That's why they're so
Yeah.
effective.
I gotta read that book.
Yeah, Story Brand.
Story
It's a
Brand. Yeah.
great- great
Again,
book.
second or third time I heard about it.
Great book.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
through
not
a
even
marketer.
a big book either.
Yeah.
I think it's not even that.
No,
thick.
it's real
Super thin, yeah.
I did it
Okay.
on
Yeah,
I did it on
yeah.
Audible
Yeah.
Yeah.
in like a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Going back though to your question about like what if it's something they don't know they need?
Mm-hmm.
I would say like that is then like that's then a problem of like you haven't adequately defined the problem. You haven't adequately defined the
Yeah.
barrier. That's not, it's not that they don't know they need it. It's that you haven't as a marketer like defined what the problem is well enough. You know what I mean? In a way
To make
that
them want to take action on
exactly
it. Right.
exactly to
Yeah.
make them want to take action. Like if
Right.
you're like if you said if I'm just advertising window cleaning as, hey, I have a dirty window, I need to clean.
Story,
you know what I mean? That's that exactly. That's not gonna. They might be like, well, my window's not that dirty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But if you maybe what if you reframed it to be like, do you want your neighbors to be jealous about how how beautiful your windows are? I wouldn't say it like that, but if
there's something there.
Exactly.
There's something you got to figure out the path to get to the pain
That's
point,
a different
right?
motivation, right? Like, oh yeah, I want my neighbors to be jealous about how beautiful my windows are. Like that sounds awesome. Then it's not like, oh yeah, my window's kind of dirty, but I don't, not that dirty, so I don't need a window. Okay, that's not a problem right now. But like Bill, man, Bill's pissing me off across the street. He's always telling me how awesome his house looks. I want to one up Bill, so I'm gonna make him jealous with how amazing.
I'm gonna host a better party.
Exactly.
I'm gonna do the thing.
Exactly. So now you've reframed the need. You've reframed the problem into a way into something that they do
need.
They do
done,
want.
Tap into the perspective.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that.
And it's attacking in different angles and finding the right message you're trying to send to people, right? Yeah.
For what you do, what you specialize. I mean,
and there's many ways to tackle it, right? Many ways to tackle the things and pains, and I would definitely think about all the pains that people have, and ask your clients that you have now.
Yeah,
that's a huge one. Ask the people that you.
That's really helpful.
That's super helpful. Why do you get your windows clean every month?
Yeah.
Right? Is it something
you like
right?
me?
And that's a bit. Just ask the people, right? Like they will tell you why.
Yeah.
Right, and they'll tell you the bad problems, and the last guy had, and he ran off, and the contractor ran off with the money, and all this stuff, right? You listen, they'll tell you the pain points, right?
Yeah,
and
listening is
listening, 2 ears, one mouth, right, as they say. So
yeah, exactly.
Listen a lot.
That's huge. Yeah,
sure.
All right,
they'll tell you.
Look, we've gone way
52
past
minutes.
our 30
Oh my
minute
God, I'm watching.
factor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's life.
but I'm telling you, this is why I enjoy marketing so much, because I can talk about this forever and ever and ever, and just learn and educate and experience and get inspired. Like now I want to go out and do some marketing stuff.
You want to go record some shit now. You're like, I mean,
this is what we're doing, right? We're recording. We're going live. Right. We got a GoPro. We got to chop it up. But look, man, before we get going, what is one thing that you would like to share with our viewers, our listeners? What's one thing you'd like for them to know, or maybe some kind of gem value to the table that you can bring?
Yeah.
Anything like that.
I don't know. Like I said, I just really think that it's important that if you are a business or a person that's trying to grow a brand or something like that, you know what I mean, that it's really important that you you identify your story. You know what I mean? Write out your story, because that is what is going to give you power to attract your your core audience, your core customer, right? I mean, you want people that that really want and need what you have to offer them. You don't want people,
they have a lot of choices.
Exactly, they have a lot of choices. You want people that are tailored to what you're offering. You don't want everybody.
Right.
You don't want everybody under the sun.
Hell no.
You know what I mean? You want, like I said, smallest viable market. So get your story down. Think about it really hard. Identify the different people, the heroes, the villains. And the villains aren't necessarily people, right? They're problems, obstacles. And what do you bring as the guide to help the hero, the customer, in their journey?
100%.
No, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing, bro.
Yeah.
And thanks for coming out and having this extended podcast episode, because a lot of our episodes right now are like 20 minutes, 30
25
minutes tops,
at most.
man.
Yeah, 30 at tops right now.
We're gonna do.
We're starting to do
next week.
longer ones. We're bringing in Blaze next week for about an hour. We're starting to do a little bit longer for certain people.
Yeah.
For certain people.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what you think about it, but like the short ones are
easy to digest.
Not easy to digest. Easy for me to converse with people like 20, 30 minutes. Right. That's easy, right? But it gives them a reason to come back a second time around and expand, because then I can go back to the 15, 30-minute conversation and go, oh, we talked about this, but we didn't talk about that. Let's unravel that conversation. Right? Like there's so much about this conversation that we didn't talk about, and this is 1 hour of conversation, right?
Yeah.
So,
we're going into these depths of business and marketing, and there's There's a lot to
There's
it.
a lot
There's a lot
to
to
it.
it.
There's a
I think
lot.
people like long form though. I mean, I wouldn't.
Joe Rogan is
necessarily
killing
say-
it. You can't say
Yeah.
long
I
form
wouldn't
doesn't
say-
work.
I
He's
wouldn't
been
say-
doing it for a
I don't
long
say it has to
time.
be
Right, but
short.
people will
No.
listen.
I
Yeah.
think they will listen.
Yeah, they will listen.
But it depends who the guest is. I don't listen to
it's-
all
I
that
don't listen
stuff.
to all
if
stuff
it's-
either,
if
right,
it's
yeah,
interesting-
100%.
Yeah, if it's not interesting,
100%.
Then, yeah, right.
And then I do like a lot of the short form, right? I
Yeah.
do like a
I
lot
do,
of the short.
yes.
But if I hear someone that like, you know, Graham Hancock, he has Graham Hancock
Yeah,
on and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Like I'm about it. You know,
Paul
I'll find that.
Paul Stamets is
I'll
another
find
guy.
that
I'll
whole
sit and listen
episode
to
and
that
I'll go
guy.
listen. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if it's quality content,
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I listen to 15-minute podcasts,
Yep.
I listen to 30-minute podcasts, I listen to hour-long
Yep.
podcasts. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it depends on
I
how
think
you feel.
I think it
too.
just
Yeah.
depends on how you feel and how you're
Yeah.
feeling that day. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes just for me anyway,
Mhm,
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Me
Same,
too.
same.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, we're
I hit a
going-
political every morning. I gotta hit a political podcast every
Oh,
morning.
geez.
I gotta hit a motivational podcast every day. I got a set schedule on
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
days.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not-
like
Getting
your-
the
your,
morning's devious.
yeah,
It kind of
yeah.
pisses you off for the rest of the day.
Yeah, yeah.
All in podcast is great. There's
That's
a
a good
bunch
one.
of good ones,
Yeah.
You
right?
gotta save it
yeah.
for the night, so when you're pissed off, you just go to bed.
Nothing
Yeah.
pisses me off. There's
That's
one
good.
thing I like. I'm very grateful. I wake up just happy,
Yeah.
right? I don't let things piss me off a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like I kind of let it wash off me.
Yeah.
There's a book by Michael Singer called Untethered Soul. And what he talks
heard about
about
that.
is a lot of the blockages, all the issues you have is honestly in yourself, right? Because the other person that you hate is probably not even thinking about you.
Yeah.
They got other things going on.
Oh yeah.
They're
too
not
busy
wor-
with their
so
own
you're
shit.
actually festering and blocking that from leaving you because you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
You're festering in that
Yeah.
world. While they're probably not. They're really not. They're
Yeah.
no. What was that one quote? You'll realize how little people think of you. Or was it? You'll stop caring about what people think when you realize how little they think about you.
Right.
Right? They're not thinking about you all day. They got other things going on.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have time to think about you.
as we all do.
So if they think about you, hopefully it's just in a good way,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? And not a bad way.
Yeah.
And they're way there. And hopefully if it is a bad way, good luck to you, right? Because I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I got other things to do. I'm busy.
Yeah.
Right? So
Well, shoots,
Yeah.
guys. Let's wrap this
Yeah,
up.
we
Is there
gotta wrap
anything
it up.
else you wanna drop before we get going?
No, thank you so
Dude,
much for
thanks
having me
for
on. I
coming
appreciate
on.
it.
Yeah.
always, dude.
So
been a lot of
everybody
fun,
who tuned in, this is Dre from Growth Networking Group,
David from 808 Custom Window Cleaning.
Brandon from United Construction Group.
and our special guest.
This is Steve from Marketing Solutions Hawaii.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
We'll see you in the
Aloha.
next
Thanks for
one.
tapping in.